There's no place in the world like California. Join us in California Country, a 30-minute adventure throughout the Golden State. This show is brought to you by Nationwide Health Plans and Allied Insurance, members of Nationwide. Nationwide is on your side. And the 40,000 farm and ranch families that make up the California Farm Bureau Federation. Farm Bureau, building a better California.
Welcome to California Country. I'm Jim Morris. This had been a beautiful car in one of the most beautiful spots in California, the coastal mountain range of San Diego County. However, fire caused tens of millions of dollars in damage to farms and to homes. However, people here say they will pick themselves up and rebuild. Wildfire is an ever-present threat in rural areas. One misplaced spark or lightning strike can ignite an inferno in the blink of an eye. The Gavilan Fire in Fallbrook, San Diego County in February burned more than 5,000 acres and 45 homes, including Bill and Jean Cade's retirement castle.
I was in the shop working on an antique dresser, and my wife was in the house talking to the next door neighbor, telling him that the fire was half a mile away. When the fire come up over the bank in the same instant, so my wife, she hollered at me, and I looked, and yeah, it's coming over the house, so she got in the car, and I got in the truck, and we left.
One of the casualties was Bill's prized sports car, a 50th birthday present that he spent 18 months lovingly restoring.
Yeah, it's 53 MG TD, or was restored from the ground up, all new upholstery, new top, new instruments, new steering wheel, new bumpers, like new, but not much left of it.
Not far away, fire also scarred trees and destroyed the Packard family ranch. It's necessary to cut down a lot of the tree to try to save it.
You just hate to see it happen, but there's nothing you can do. You have to just go with it because you won't have any production ever if you don't.
Fire also roared through the avocado grove of Lauren and Barb Rugg. It will keep them from growing much fruit for years.
We've had the frost, frozen us out, and we've had the wind. It's taken all the fruit, but this is different. There's no, we don't know when we'll recover from this.
Yeah.
And how, if the trees are going to make it, no one knows yet.
Yeah, because it took our whole crop, and then probably won't have one next year either, so it's tough.
These families and many others are in the long process of rebuilding. They all say their insurance coverage will help them rebound.
Insurance is nothing but a piece of paper until something like this happens. Sure, you've got your peace of mind, but this is what that piece of paper is. You've got to be here to visualize it. You also need, it makes it much easier to know who's on the other line.
The very first night of the fire, it was like, gee, what am I going to do now? And so then within a day or two, well, the insurance guy was there, and so then, you know, they gave us a check so we could move forward, and they were just really great about it.
Travel around Fallbrook and you'll see dozens of decimated properties. Though given time, this area will again return to its former state.
Life will go on. We'll build it back and have a great time again. Just couldn't have more fun in this house than we had.
Can't take the memories away.
No, we had great memories. You can't take those.
Like I say, though, when you build a house, we got divorced 5 times and married 6 times. It's a hard way to go.
Anybody that's been living in California for more than 20 minutes knows the population just keeps growing and growing. And as the population grows, people need to live somewhere, and we keep moving out further and further into surrounding areas. As that happens, we start to see more and more stories like you just saw about houses that are being lost in wildfires. We've had a couple in San Diego County in the last couple of years, and it's going to keep happening more and more as people keep moving further and further out into the country. So if you want to try and protect your house, there's going to be some times when nothing you do, even if you do everything right, it's still going to be a problem when the conditions are right. Winds are going to blow, fires are going to burn, but there are some things you can do to minimize your risk. Let me show you what a few of those are. We have different fire safety zones around a house. There's 4 of them. The 4th zone, or the furthest zone away from the house, is the native vegetation. And what you want to do in the native vegetation areas are start to thin out the brush. Now, this isn't always possible in all areas. I know in some areas of San Diego County, that vegetation is protected, and that is one of the problems. The homeowners can't clear that vegetation out, but if you are able to legally, you want to clear out that vegetation. And then the next zone is zone 3. You want to start with ground covers and low-growing things that provide an extra cushion or an extra barrier between you and the fire. Here's our native vegetation. Keep it cleaned out. Don't let dead brush build up inside of it. And then as we move away and come closer to the house, we'll have areas of ground cover, low ground covers. And don't let the dead, woody vegetation below there, the litter, build up in there. And then as we come closer, you want even lower material like grasses and lawns and low volume shrubs around there. Succulents are great for this zone and this area, and lots of other plants that have a high water to wood ratio. As we get closer, right up around the house, you want to avoid large trees like this pine tree here. They are highly flammable. They become exploding devices, pyros, yeah, something like that, that will just explode when it gets hot. So you want to avoid things like pines around the house, eucalyptus around the house, junipers, anything that has a high amount of fuel volume to it. Avoid those from around the house. Keep things clean, keep things well watered, and you too may be able to avoid the next fire when it comes through. I'm David Ross from Walter Anderson's. We'll see you next time.
Have a comment on the show or a great story idea? We'd love to hear from you, so give us a call toll-free, 800-698-FARM, and you just might win some cool stuff.
Premier service from Allied Insurance protects more than your car. It protects your baby, your office, even your family room. We understand it's more than a car. It's your car.
Quality insurance at a fair price for individuals, families, and businesses. Consult the Yellow Pages for the independent Allied agent closest to you.
Picture this. A place down by the lake, front yard of crystal blue water, plenty of room for the kids, and of course, the grandkids.
If you can picture the future, Nationwide can too. We offer financial services like mutual funds and retirement planning that fit your changing needs and help make your future everything you pictured. Nationwide. Insurance, financial services, on your side.
We in America have the most affordable food supply in the world.
We in America have the safest food supply in the world.
Californians benefit from the creative talents of families throughout our state, from El Centro to Yreka, who produce our food, fiber, and flowers.
The 40,000 farm families that make up Farm Bureau in California are working hard to keep it that way.
Farm Bureau, building a better California.
Welcome back to California Country.
Trees certainly serve a very important part in our lives. They produce fruits and nuts that we eat every day. But did you know that trees are an important part of the environmental process? In fact, you could say the trees help keep the environment green.
California's 30 million acres of agricultural land provides countless benefits. Just 1 acre of rice takes more than 20,000 pounds of carbon dioxide out of the atmosphere, while an acre of cotton eliminates 325,000 pounds of ozone per day. It's clear that trees, vines, and plants provide a lot more than our daily bread.
I think all the vines and the trees in California agriculture are providing a range of environmental services. And those services range from sequestering carbon dioxide from the atmosphere and in their biomass as they grow, to cleaning the air that we breathe, to intercepting rainfall and reducing the amount of runoff that
occurs and goes into rivers and streams and oceans.
The state's 16 million acres of forest land not only provide a host of wood products from pencils to houses, without proper management, forests could be much more susceptible to wildfire.
What I do like about the forest too is when we come into an area, we want to get rid of the material on the ground. That burns very hot. And if you have that on the ground around us and you had a fire come through here on the ground, it would just burn up the forest. And then we have a catastrophic problem, and that's not good for the birds, the wildlife, the fur bearers, or the water quality.
You'll find more than 50 million trees and vines throughout the Golden State, which are cared for by people with a great stake in preserving their surroundings.
I don't know if people understand or appreciate that we have to live on this land, and we not only depend on it for 1 year or 2 years, we live on it for our lifetimes, and hopefully the next generation and the next generation. So it's not, you know, people talk about Earth Day. Well, I think every day is Earth Day with farmers or agricultural people, because we depend on this earth to provide our livelihood.
I'm Sandra Furlong for California Country.
There's so much to choose from in the produce aisle. Andy Pounding has a few things you might not have thought about.
Welcome to my garden. Let's talk garlic. Long credited with providing and prolonging physical strength, it was actually fed to the Egyptian slaves while they were building the pyramids. It's a lily family member, and we've got some varieties to look at, including one happy bug in there. He's, well, what are you gonna do? Mother Nature. Green garlic. Green spring garlic, also known as immature garlic. This is what the plants look like before they bulb up and dry and mature. And then we've got three other kinds. There's the American or white garlic. And there's also red or Roja garlic, primarily from Mexico or Italy. And then you've got the humongous elephant garlic. Huge, huge cloves of garlic heaven. So we've done a few things with garlic today, including just simply roasting it, cutting off the tops, putting them in foil, putting on a little olive oil, salt and pepper, and just putting them in the oven for maybe a half hour at 300 degrees. And you end up with this incredibly mellow, soft sort of puree that you can just squeeze out. I like to squeeze it out just on toasted bread and smear it a little bit. This is great for an appetizer platter, maybe along with cheese. You can also do the roasted garlic and just, because it's so mellow, you can add it to a nice vinaigrette, or you can add butter to it and spread it around like that. Who doesn't love garlic bread? So I'm not going to try this because I have to talk to people this afternoon. That's the other thing about garlic. Just make sure that whoever you're with has a piece of whatever you're eating, and then it doesn't matter that your breath smells like garlic. Here we have a tart. Into a pre-baked pie shell, we put a custard, egg, a little cream, and 3 kinds of garlic. The green garlic, the elephant, and some of the red garlic that had been sauteed, and then put gorgonzola, sweet gorgonzola cheese on it, and toasted walnuts, and finish it off with some chives, as if that wasn't enough. Heaven. I won't have to take my vitamin pill today for this. Also, if you're in the Bay Area, check out Garibaldi's restaurant in Oakland. They do an incredible soup using spring garlic. Wonderful, wonderful stuff. So there's this old proverb that garlic is as good as 10 mothers, and everybody should listen to their mother. Eat your garlic. See you next time.
Want to know more about the fascinating stories behind where our food comes from? We'll find the answers to many questions on our website at cacountry.tv.
Farming is more than a job. It's an opportunity and a responsibility to provide life-sustaining food and fiber for our nation and the world. The hours can be long, but it's a rewarding life. My family and I love spending time outside, enjoying the sights and sounds that you can only find on the farm. It's a big job, one that I wouldn't trade for anything. Farm Bureau, building a better California.
You'd never know it on the battlefield, but nearly half of today's military are National Guard and reservists. However, they can't answer our nation's call without their employer's support. If you're an employer, visit esgr.org and find out how to do your part. After all, their response depends on yours.
Welcome back to California Country.
Have you ever taken a moment to admire the amazing abundance, availability, and affordability of many of the items at your supermarket, produce included? Well, there's a lot of hard work behind the scenes that makes that possible, and there are many people working to make our food supply even better. Bugs take a multi-billion-dollar bite out of the food grown in America, and researchers far and wide are seeking ways to better safeguard plants, including a surprising source.
We're taking the venom from these scorpions and turning them into useful products, including pharmaceuticals and insecticides.
Those insecticides come from toxins separated from scorpion venom through incredibly detailed analysis. This research has gone on for more than a decade at UC Davis. The specific toxins that kill insect pests yet are safe to everything else would be cloned into what's known as a baculovirus or natural insecticide.
First thing, it would benefit the environment by reducing the load of chemical insecticides that are sprayed to the field.
Getting the venom is the hard part. Bora actually milks these insects, imported from Egypt and South Africa. They're among the most deadly on the planet.
Do it cautiously and never let go. And I try to stay away from the pinchers because once they grab something, they can pull themselves and reposition themselves and slip from my hand.
Make no mistake, this is dangerous work. One wrong move could be fatal. As little as one drop could mean death.
Wow, that was a close call.
You'll find some of the worst crop-munching pests in this lab. This is the cotton bollworm, bred on site so it can be studied to see what toxin best kills it.
So this insect is now, it's contracted and it's paralyzed. That's the venom. I think I see it as an incredible resource for my research and for agriculture and for humanity.
This is clearly one job best left to a highly skilled professional.
Most of the scorpions that we use here are medically important, and the sting would be might have bad consequences. So I don't recommend milking scorpions to anybody.
Hi, I'm Chad Minton, chef de cuisine of the Grand Hyatt here in beautiful downtown San Francisco. Now today we're going to prepare a shrimp boil. Now shrimp boil, the term boil is kind of a generic term that refers to an aromatic cooking liquid that you can cook any kind of shellfish in, whether it be fish or shrimp or crab. What I've got here is an onion, one onion I've quartered. Okay, I've got some celery, and we've got some carrots here, which I'm just going to chop up. And what we're doing is we're kind of making a court bouillon, which is the hell is it? So liquid that the French use to cook fish in. But we're going to season it up a little bit. I've got some garlic cloves here, which is going to add a lot of flavor to it. And then I've got a piece of ginger here, fresh ginger, and I'm just going to smash that and smash that too. We can toss all that stuff in there as well. Now here for the dried ingredients, what I have are some chili flakes. I got that Old Bay seasoning right here, and y'all gonna have to take it easy on the salt on this dish. I'm gonna tell you why. These things here from the sea, so they're somewhat salty to begin with, and this one here is a little salty also. This stuff here is a pickling spice, okay, and much as the name would lend itself, it's made for pickling. We've got broken up Old Bay, bay leaves, some mustard seeds, and some nutmeg in there, and just very fragrant, almost tart. So we're gonna add this stuff. To 2 gallons, or it's about 1.5 gallons of boiling water, and about a half gallon of white wine. You know, I wish that those of you at home could actually smell this because it's very, very, very aromatic. You're just gonna have to let your imagination work on this one. I've got our shrimp here. I've gone to the trouble of peeling this stuff. Obviously, you don't have to. I like the shell on. I like to peel it as I'm eating it, but what the hell. So I'm just gonna dump these things in there. And it's not gonna take long. You know, it's not gonna take long. You can see they're starting to turn pink, you know, and that opaqueness is starting to turn white. Now, there's a couple of different ways you can do this. You can cook them all the way and submerge them in cold water, but then that kind of seizes up the meat a little bit. What I like to do is I like to cook them almost until they're totally done. And then I like to just lay them out on a flat tray and let them cool off naturally. And there's a process called carryover cookery, which is going to carry them over and continue cooking them until they're totally done, which is what we're going to do today. We're almost there. About 1-2 minutes, they're done. All right, and now simply all you got to do is take some of your favorite cocktail sauce, and I've got some of this beautiful curly parsley that we had specially delivered from 1950. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take some of our cocktail shrimp that we have cooked off, and you can just pile this stuff up for your guests or loved ones, or you know, whatever it is that you're doing. And I'm just going to throw some of these what do you call those things, lemons on there, and that's it. Once again, these are just simple guidelines for a shrimp boil. This is Chad Minton for California Country, urging you to use your creativity and keep cooking.
Want to know more about the fascinating stories behind where our food comes from? We'll find the answers to many questions on our website at cacountry.tv.
Premier service from Allied Insurance protects more than your car. It protects your baby, your office, even your family room. We understand it's more than a car. It's your car.
Quality insurance at a fair price for individuals, families, and businesses. Consult the Yellow Pages for the independent Allied agent closest to you.
Picture this. A place down by the lake, front yard of crystal blue water, plenty of room for the kids, and, of course, the grandkids.
If you can picture the future, Nationwide can too. We offer financial services like mutual funds and retirement planning that fit your changing needs and help make your future everything you pictured. Nationwide. Insurance, financial services, on your side.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Farm Bureau, building a better California.
Welcome back to California Country.
We're in Modoc County in northeastern California where the West still lives. There's a lot of interesting things here. In fact, this is a Navajo churro sheep. She's just 5 days old. We've also found a rider who's won national awards for her work.
Travel past the Warner Mountains east of Alturas and you'll find the Surprise Valley and the ranch of Linda and John Hussa. Besides raising sheep and cattle, Linda pens books and poetry, which capture the essence of rural life.
I began writing to kind of try to slow things down because life was going very fast. And then as I wrote more, I found that something about what we were doing in our life was interesting to other people. And it also made them maybe understand what rural America is all about.
Linda's writings have won widespread acclaim, including taking honors as the top poetry book for 2001 by the National Cowboy and Western Heritage Museum. Her readers aren't just those who share similar lifestyles. There's a renewed interest in what's happening in rural America, as evidenced by the widespread interest in the battle over water rights in the Klamath Basin, which cloud the future of hundreds of family farmers.
I think all of America suddenly took a hard look at what was happening to the ranchers and the farmers. And so now they're talking to us. They want to know what's going on. They want to get more informed. They want to come to the source.
Linda writes about what she observes.
My hero, he grinned, Casey Tibbs. From the time I was in high school, 19, world champion bronc rider, silk shirts, purple caddy, pretty women on his arm, and I wanted to be just like Casey. Any horse at fire, I rode it, or tried to. Mom listened to me croon his name as I shaped my new black hat with Casey's crease in the steam of her tea kettle. She pulled a newspaper clipping from her apron pocket, slapped it down, tapped the headlines with wind warnings in her eyes. Casey, named in paternity suit. That was as close to sex education as we ever got at our house.
Ranching is filled with long, labor-filled days, but Linda says she wouldn't trade her 2 jobs for anything.
One time John said, you're doing so well with your writing, maybe we should just sell this ranch and you could just write. And I said, what would I have to write about? Because that's what I write about, is what we do here in our life here. No, there's nothing I would rather do. I wouldn't want to live anywhere else.
Well, thanks for watching California Country. Appreciate you viewing, and tune in next week for a 30-minute tour of the best and brightest the Golden State has to offer. We'll see you then.
Thanks for watching California Country. This program is made possible through a generous grant from Nationwide Health Plans and Allied Insurance. Saw a show you liked and want to buy it? Well, it's easy. Just send a check for $15 to the California Foundation for Agriculture in the Classroom. Please include the station call letters and the date the show aired. You are important to us. In fact, we'd like to hear your thoughts about California Country. And each week, one lucky viewer will receive a gift highlighting California's amazing food industry. California Country is produced by the California Farm Bureau Federation.